The article that I studied was entitled, "A U.S.-Japan Lesson Study Collaboration Reveals Critical Lenses for Examining Practice." Within this article, there was a study that included a number of 16 teachers and administrators from public schools within New Jersey and 12 Japanese teachers who have had at least 5 years of experience in teaching in Japanese public schools. And these Japanese teachers are lesson study coaches who taught the American teachers of the lesson study practice, which originated within Japan. Within this article, there are 3 main focus questions, which include: what is the best way to design activities that involve the examination of practice? What is the best way for teachers to look at, talk about, and learn from their daily work? And what questions should teachers ask themselves about their practice, and what tasks should they work on to structure this examination? Lesson studies. In order to begin a lesson study, it is necessary to first identify lesson goals. One of the quotes included, "Powerful lesson study lies in the detail of how teachers view their practice during the course of a lesson study." And in creating goals, it is important to learn what type of students that the school would like to foster in terms of values. And it is also important to identify weaknesses of the students and what they need assistance in. And a goal could be, for example, helping students become critical thinkers and looking at the content areas such as science or language arts. The use of meetings. Within meetings, it is important to use a goal as a focus and to evaluate the lesson study practice that is being utilized within the classroom. And this would lead to formulating a hypothesis that is testable and from which empirical evidence and data can be gathered. And on the right was a lesson plan format that was provided by the Japanese teachers as an example for the American teachers. Researcher lens. In order to have the researcher lens, it is important to develop a meaningful and testable hypothesis. And it is important to explore this hypothesis using the appropriate means within the classroom and looking at, for example, the age group, which in this case ranged from 5th to 6th graders. And it is extremely important in collecting efficient data as to eliminate bias that the teacher may have, as they may assume that the students have all learned the important content that is being taught within the class. And there also has to be an interest in generalizing findings to applicable contexts. In addition, the goals should be clear to both the teachers and the students. Curriculum developer lens. So this would include sequencing and connecting student learning experiences and also viewing the curriculum and how it is being implemented within the school, and not only within textbooks but how it is being used within the classrooms as well. Relating instruction. So this would include relating content to other lessons within the same unit. And there must be an order of the learning process and in building up knowledge so that the students will have a proper foundation in which they can build on complex ideas within their critical thinking. Contemplating the development of content within a lesson. So this discusses the importance of learning to acknowledge what the students have learned prior to the present class and what is being taught, and using multiple strategies and adapting the lesson plan to what each student has already learned. Adopting the student lens. So this would include conducting lessons through the eyes of the students and from their perspective. So this would include anticipating behaviors, understanding their perspectives, and being able to understand their thought process, and it is important to determine how to use this knowledge to build students' understanding and using that as an advantage as the teacher. Anticipating and facilitating outcomes. So it is important to come up with solutions and to come up with answers to questions that the students may have, and it is important to compare and contrast the solutions that the teachers have come up with and the solutions that the students have come up with to see if the teacher has predicted the students correctly. So this would include how students understand problems and how to facilitate learning within the classroom, and looking at the students' ability to apply methods and using careful word choice in directing the students and guiding them. Adopting a researcher lens for lesson or study work. So the teachers need to learn how to generate powerful questions about practice and designing lessons that are meant to answer the students' questions as previously mentioned. And it is extremely important, and it was emphasized throughout the article, that the teachers need to see concrete evidence that shows that the students are learning and building on their critical thinking to be able to create their own complex ways of knowing and in gaining their own perspectives.